And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly, truly fantastic day today. Well, my people, things aren't always as they seem to be. We all remember the big blow up that happened between Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless on Undisputed, and as far as we all knew, that was the catalyst. That was the beginning of the end of that show. From that point, it was just a matter of time. Shannon Sharpe ended up getting let go, and not too long after the show was over, with Skip going on to do his own thing on YouTube. But it turns out that actually may not be why the show ended at all. Sure, that was a terrible blow up, and obviously the energy between Skip and Shannon was visibly changed after that moment, but that may not have been the reason at all why the show ended. So we've all heard about the scandal going on now with Joy Taylor, this woman, Noshin Faraji, I believe, and Skip Bayless, and Shannon Sharpe's name was mentioned and whatnot. But basically some essay accusations and things like that. So we are going to check out this article from awfulannouncing.com. And it says, for executive Charlie Dixon, Fox executive Charlie Dixon gives Joy Taylor Undisputed as a reward for having relations with him. Says, before landing her major role as the host and moderator of Undisputed, Faraji alleges that Joy Taylor engaged in a relationship with Charlie Dixon, the Fox executive responsible for content decisions, to secure the position. According to the lawsuit, this alleged arrangement helped Taylor secure the job, but ultimately contributed to the breakdown of her marriage shortly after tying the knot. In approximately May 2016, Ms. Taylor asked Ms. Faraji to meet her for a drink in Santa Monica. When Ms. Faraji arrived, she found Ms. Taylor with an older man, Fox Sports Executive Vice President of Content, Mr. Dixon. As Executive Vice President, Mr. Dixon is responsible for overseeing all content and production on FS1. Ms. Faraji, however, did not know Mr. Dixon. From their body language, Ms. Faraji suspected that the pair were sleeping with each other, and although this concerned Ms. Faraji, as she knew Ms. Taylor was recently married, Ms. Faraji kept her opinions to herself. Mr. Bayless later disclosed to Ms. Faraji that he did not want Ms. Taylor on the show, but Mr. Dixon was adamant that Ms. Taylor should star. At first, Mr. Dixon arranged a dinner between Mr. Bayless and Ms. Taylor, where she arrived in provocative clothing and acted in a provocative manner. When that did not change Mr. Bayless's opinion of Ms. Taylor, Mr. Dixon asked him to approve of her as a favor to him. Reluctantly, Mr. Bayless agreed to do so as a favor to his friend, and there's a lot more to this story, but we are going to hold up right there. So I've seen several content creators talk about this. I've actually read a couple of articles on this, and one of the things that ultimately happened is it seems like this is actually what was responsible for the ending of Undisputed, is because ultimately they wanted to get rid of, I believe, the Nushin Faraji. I believe they wanted to get rid of her. They needed a reason to fire her. And, it had something to do with, by ending the show, there was no more reason for her to be there as well. But it seemed like they were kind of slowly phasing her out, and possibly Joy Taylor as well. It was also said that Joy Taylor said that, hey, if they try to fire me, I will claim SA accusations against this Charlie Dixon. So my people, we're going to keep this relatively short, as I say every video. So, we could be here for 15, 20 minutes, but Joy Taylor is someone who immediately I did not like. I just something about her energy. Now, I really don't think I started paying much attention till she was on the new show with Acho. Was it Speak First or whatever? But immediately, something about her energy was just off-putting. It's kind of that arrogant thing, that arrogant vibe, the know-it-all vibe, the overcompensating vibe. And this is typical of people who didn't achieve their success through integrity. This is a pattern that you would notice with people who take shortcuts to get to where they are. They tend to be more arrogant than someone who actually earned it. They tend to be more self-righteous. They tend to be just unnecessarily self-absorbed than someone who earned it. You will see it over and over again. And this is the vibe she comes off. Now, again, all of these are allegations, but it is also alleged that she had a relationship with Acho from that show, Speak First. And so, people who are willing to do that to get to the top, basically people who are willing to do anything to get to the top, basically people who are willing to cheat the game to get to the top, they always have more of an arrogance than someone who actually earned their way to the top. Fanboys, I know that you thought you were going to escape some criticism for your king, but whenever we are talking about negative traits in humanity, your king will come up. So, like I was saying, people who cheat their way to the top are normally more arrogant. And what better example of this than if we look at LeBron James versus Michael Jordan? LeBron James comes off as super arrogant. He's a super know-it-all. He thinks he knows it all. If you just listen to him talk, the things that he says, it's always, again, going back to the It's Just a Game podcast with him and JJ Redick. He's on there talking about how he was a genius at 8 years old because he could flip plays. And he's always, talking, calling himself the GOAT, I'm the greatest player in the world. And all these other things that we never heard Michael Jordan say, who is the actual GOAT, who is the person that most people consider the GOAT. But Michael Jordan thinks it's an insult to players of the past to call himself the GOAT. When you just hear Michael Jordan talk, he's always giving credit to the people who he felt he learned things from. He gives credit to a big amount of credit to Dean Smith. He gives credit to Phil Jackson, by saying, hey, if Phil is gone, I'm not playing with another coach. Jordan respects the fact that you build something, and because that building process takes so long and you can appreciate the process, how hard it is to do, you don't want to start the building over again with someone else. This is what Michael Jordan understood. This is what LeBron James didn't understand because he cheats the game. So yeah, you will see the parallels in these kind of people. If you just look, like I said, people who cheat the game, who who manipulate the system to get to the top, they are always more arrogant. It never fails. And again, we have to say nothing is 100%. There are exceptions to the rule, of course, always. But in general, this is a pattern that you will always see. Now, something else that you will find common in people like this is that they very much want the spotlight. And this is probably another thing that rubbed me the wrong way immediately about Joy Taylor, is that I felt like she was fighting for the spotlight and not necessarily passionate about sports. She wants the spotlight, and again, we can bring this right back to the false king. LeBron James is more concerned with the spotlight versus actually being passionate about the game of basketball. So people like this, they are very good at faking it. They are politicians. They know the right things to say because they have studied all of the right things to say. They normally have studied from people who are great at what they do, not because they necessarily want to be great at the profession, not because Joy Taylor wants to be a great journalist, not because LeBron James wants to be a great basketball player, but because they want the praise that great players get. They want the praise that great journalists get. It's more about the praise. And, if you think about it, it makes sense why people like this don't necessarily have any integrity when it comes to trying to get to the top, because it's not really about the passion for what they do. It's about the praise that comes with it, And so when you want that spotlight, first of all, the mindset behind just wanting praise already kind of lets you know what time it is. Because what kind of mindset do you have to have? Everybody wants to be recognized for what they do. And this is a different thing, but we're talking about extremes. We're talking about when people thrive on that praise, when the praise becomes more important than doing your job to the best of your ability. When the praise becomes more important than being passionate about your job, especially a job like sports, where supposedly you get into it because that's your passion. I would think the same thing about journalism, is you get into it because you have a passion for that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, people get into things for all kinds of different reasons. Some people get into sports simply because they have a talent for it, and they know that talent can take them to a certain amount of success. And that goes with every single job you can think of across the board. People get into it not because of the passion, but because of, again, they have a talent for it, and they understand that talent can bring them a certain amount of success. So, that's pretty much all I got to say about this. I mean, we're going to see how things unfold. Again, I guess right now, all of this is allegations, but it's not surprising. It's not surprising allegations. So yeah, but anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think of this whole Joy Taylor, Faraji, Skip Bayless? Like I said, Shannon Sharpe's name was mentioned. What do you think of this whole scandal with involving sleeping your way to the top, involving alleged SA and these different kind of things? What do you think about that? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.